need another BlackBerry. So I'm sure the people watching this video probably can appreciate that sentiment. But I put my SIM card back in my BlackBerry Key One the other day. I've been using it around. I've been really frustrated with the smartphone experience lately whenever it comes to typing. Like when you type on a Google Pixel, it's pretty good. When you type on a Samsung phone, it's usually pretty good. The iPhone, as much as I've been appreciating some of the features, iOS and their autocorrect and the things that they do with their keyboard, their haptics, I do not enjoy the experience at all. It's very frustrating because I come from the land of I really like physical keys, and I think a lot of people can appreciate that as much as you might consider it an archaic design. So, yes, this is not the ideal design for everybody, but whenever it comes to a lot of folks who spend a lot of time typing on their phone, especially when it comes to precision in typing and using capitalization, punctuation, like all that stuff, it's something that's really, really important. Now, we'll talk about the security aspect here in a minute. I mean, really, another company could come along and make a physical keyboard phone. I would entertain it. I would try it. I tested out Unihertz Titan, Titan Slim, all that stuff, but the Titan Pocket wasn't quite there. Like the thing is one, it wasn't nearly as good of a keyboard as BlackBerry. Plus the muscle memory. Plus, like there's a lot of features built into the keyboard. A lot of features built into what BlackBerry did with their phones. And I think that we still need something like this. I don't think we need a million of these different phones floating around. I don't think we need five different keyboard phone manufacturers. Most people don't want this. But for people who do want this, there's just no real solid substitute that's out there. I mean, yes, you could pick up one of those Unihertz phones, but they have a lot of drawbacks to them, and especially in lots of certain areas. But I appreciate that they tried. I hope they try again. And honestly, since BlackBerry sold off so many of their patents, it's quite possible they could get a patent for their keyboard if they want to spend it and put it in a phone. I mean, another phone company could do that. They could license out that IP, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'd love to see somebody do it, even if it's like Samsung, but they're not going to do that. Because the thing is most people look at a physical keyboard phone and they go, well, this is archaic. Nobody wants it. Nobody's going to buy it. But just like we have the iPhone SE and, it's selling 20 million phones a year, there are people who still like older form factors, who still like physical keyboards, who still like the functionality, the tactility. I don't think it's very arguable that the typing experience on the screen feels and is more enjoyable and is more accurate than a physical keyboard. Plus, you get other cool things like you got the fingerprint scanner built into the space bar, you got the hotkeys, all those great things. So there's a lot that I really appreciate about this phone from a typing, multitasking perspective. It's great. You got the alt, you got the shift, you got the symbol key. There's so much that you can do typing on a physical keyboard, and it's all right there. You don't have to have little pop-up menus. You don't have to do all these other things. You don't have to rely on autocorrect. The new autocorrect stuff and text selection on iOS is atrocious. At one point, it was the gold standard, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then they try and fix it. I've been having so many levels of frustration and growing pains trying to type on my iPhone 15 Pro Max, especially you'll type something that looks like it should be the word, maybe it's one letter off and like it just won't change it. Or if you type something it thinks you're not trying to type, it will change it. Or it does other things like making it impossible to select where you actually want the cursor. It keeps jumping around now. Like I'll try and move the cursor the way you're supposed to, press down on the space bar, slide your thumb, and then it'll jump to the end of the sentence or it'll jump to the end of the screen. I'm like, I don't know what they did, but they need to fix it. And you would think with all the AI that's being built into phones nowadays, it's something that should be a no-brainer. So for somebody like me or other folks who do like most of their business on their phone, and especially when it comes to social media, if you go try and type in on TikTok, you try and type on Instagram, you try and type hashtags, you try and type, it doesn't use autocorrect for those because it wants you to try and make sure it's the right, most accurate thing you're trying to type. So it basically eliminates those extra features anyway, and then it's like, okay, this is not working very well. So I would really like to have the precision and the accuracy and the tactility of a physical keyboard in my arsenal. Now the nice thing is you can mostly still use this phone. Like I can't get the latest update of YouTube Creator Studio, so there's a few features missing there. I can still reply to comments. I can still use Twitter or X, as some folks would call it. I can still play Boom Beach. there's a lot of stuff I can still do with this phone, but it's running Android 8.1 and it hasn't had a security patch in years. So when you see the BlackBerry name and logo on it, no, it's not really as secure as you would like it to be anymore. And it was never a flagship phone when it was built. It's got the Snapdragon 625 in it for Pete's sake. So even at the time it came out, it was okay, but it's only got 4 gigabytes of RAM. Like it definitely is kind of slow, especially compared to what I normally use: iPhone 15 Pro Max, Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5, Z Fold. Like there's a lot of high caliber, high level phones that I use. So whenever I come back and I use this, I'm like, all right, this could be a lot better. So there's just a lot of frustrations in just the typical traditional slab world now that really I would like to see somebody license the IP or somebody make make a good physical keyboard phone and put some thought into it. But it's just hard to get somebody to do that because the market is not really there. So the other thing is security. Uh, that's one of the things that's the biggest forefront of technology for the last decade. Like we need good security, and BlackBerry themselves, I mean, they were basically the pioneer and the gold standard of security in smartphones for so long. And I think that they could probably license that out. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to have a new BlackBerry phone, but it would be really nice if we could get a phone with maybe BlackBerry could make a new software security suite. Maybe they could license the technology for somebody else to make a keyboard phone. And I think maybe we could get like the best of both worlds there because you could get something else and maybe not have that stigma attached to it, but still have that gold standard of security. I mean, it's all over the place. They're like number one when it comes to car security. They're doing a lot of things in the security space that's not necessarily a physical phone. And of course, John Chen is not there anymore. I mean, you still got the board of directors. You still got them trying to fiddle around and find their new path in this world. But I think there's a lot there if we to look at that and kind of unpack it a little bit. I think there's still a need, but it has to be done right. And I think it has to be done in a smart and more like on a micro level. Yeah, it might would cost more because you're not making 20 million phones, but even if they could sell maybe 100,000 of them, 200,000 of them, they could probably find a way to be profitable. I don't know. I was just sitting around because my iPhone's been frustrating me so much, and of course, I got attacked on Twitter. Not really, but I put it on Twitter that I loathe iOS and I'm ready to just go back to all Android phones because, well, I don't enjoy iOS. I don't enjoy the typing experience. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how good the camera is, how good the screen is, how good the battery life is. If the typing experience sucks, then that causes me a lot of frustration in my day-to-day experience because I don't use a laptop for most things other than just editing my videos and uploading them. I do most of my work on a phone and I do tons and tons of typing, my emails, my contacts, responding to sponsorship stuff, looking out and trying to work with brands. I send so many emails every day. I do so much on social media every day. Do so much typing on my phone. So that's why, even though this phone is like 7 years old now, or however old it is, yeah, I still can get enjoyment out of just putting my SIM card in it for a week and get sitting here and typing and typing and typing, and it's just been so refreshing. And then it just makes me go, here we are another year without another BlackBerry, without another keyboard phone, and we need one. I think that we really do need one. So that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your complaints. I know everyone's like, "Oh, BlackBerry, shut up, keyboard, go away, old man." I think there's a valid need for this, and I think somebody needs to address it. Whether it's BlackBerry, whether it's somebody else, somebody. We need a physical keyboard phone, a new one. That's good. So that's all I got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.